We want to make it very clear to the country that we want the focus on the expropriation of land without compensation to be on the 87% stolen land. That is what the primary focus should be. And we must not confuse this discussion by diverting the focus now into the land that is already in the hands of Africans, because that land was never stolen. There may be problems in terms of how it is administered, and we will deal with that, like I said. So, on the issue of the elections that you are asking, whether does that signal us supporting the EFF? Look, this statement says that we are meeting with all the progressive formations in the country, and EFF is part of those progressive forces in the country. And it's actually very active and very robust in terms of how it raises issues in the country. And as Contralesa, we acknowledge that. We are very objective in terms of looking at what is happening politically in the country. Now, we have given EFF a challenge to say that we want you to have a policy on the institution of traditional leadership in South Africa, and we want that reflected in your own manifesto. Because in politics, anything is possible. We cannot fold our arms here and engage only on one side in terms of the political landscape of the country, and then we are surprised in 2019. And then we blame ourselves for not engaging our own people. The EFF is part and parcel of the African leadership of this country, and therefore, as Contralesa, we will not sit back and not engage them, because we see them as a party that is growing. We see them as a party that in certain instances it is calling the shots, and therefore we are forced to engage with them, whether we like it or not. Then, lastly, we don't want to confuse the issue of land in the country at the moment. We are saying let's deal with the first things first. Other issues will be dealt with in the legislation and the regulatory mechanisms that will flow from that. And therefore, as Contralesa, we don't want to be diverted to deal with distribution, agrarian reform, and all of that. The politicians will go into that detail. Our interest is that our land must be restored back to us. That's why we went to war to defend our land. And when we waged a struggle for liberation in the country, the primary factor for us was land. We were not fighting for a plebiscite. We wanted land, and the wealth is entrenched in the land, and therefore land is the most important thing to us that reflects freedom. Without land, we are still not free. And we must make it very clear that the land issue is very key and critical to us. Until our land is restored to us as the rightful owners, we'll stop at nothing. Thank you so much.